Hello everyone, I do hope you're having a good day. Welcome to Leadership 101. I'd like to provide you with training today, and our topic for today is Leaders Share Power. And this is part 2 of Leaders Share Power. It's important that if you're going to be a great leader, that you learn to share power. And as a great leader, people follow you because they want to. And when you find out that people want to follow you, because they see things in you that they admire and they aspire to, and they choose to follow you, it is your duty as a leader then to ensure that you're making decisions which is in the best interest of those that follow you. And one way that you can do that is to ensure that your people are growing, ensure that your constituents are growing. John Maxwell made mention of the fact that there are various levels of leadership. And one of the lower levels of leadership is a positional leader. A positional leader is someone who derives their power from their position. People only follow them and do what those people say because of their position. There's an element of fear as well, because they're probably afraid that if they don't do what is required of them, then they'll lose their jobs. And so such a leader is quite unlikely to share their power. But that's not the type of leadership I'm discussing. I'm discussing a greater type because you have already noted that people follow you because they want to. You've created a legacy and people want to follow you and to learn from you. And so in order to help them to grow as individuals, it's important that you learn to share power. Now, there's a saying that goes, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So as a leader, you may decide to give too much power to a constituent, and then that power might intoxicate them and drown them and stifle their growth as individuals. Or conversely, you might give an individual too little power, and that individual ends up feeling restrained, resentful. Again, their growth is stifled. So there's a balance that you must reach as a leader in order to share power. And this balance really does come through observation. There's a book that I was reading or listening to called Servant Leadership. And the author in that book states that leadership is an innate quality. So leadership is not really something that you can necessarily delegate. Because it's almost like a calling. It comes from within, and the individual will feel called to lead people regardless of what the remuneration is. But power is something that you can share, and definitely there are certain skills that can be honed in your leaders to develop them and to cultivate the qualities that you see within them. So sharing your power is a good way of helping a leader to cultivate their skills, but you must reach that balance. When you observe a person, observe their strengths, observe their weaknesses, then you can decide how much power to give to that individual. You want to make sure it's not too much and it's not too little. Based on your analysis of how they handle the power that you give to them, then you can then make a decision on whether to increase the power you've given to them or to decrease it slightly. Perhaps they didn't handle things as they should. Perhaps the power needs to be decreased. There's certain things that need to be learned, and then you increase the power, and you do it that way. When you follow this gradual process, and like I said previously, it is an arduous process, but when you commit to training and to cultivating your people with the awareness that they will fail because they are learning. It's just like a child who's riding a bicycle. Initially, they start off with learner wheels on the side, and eventually those learner wheels get taken off and they start to ride the bicycle. Sometimes they'll fall, they'll cry, but then you encourage them to get back up and to keep on riding. And the same thing applies to cultivating people. Cultivate them with the awareness that they will fail sometimes. They won't necessarily do things the way you would have done it. And the way you do things, you must remember, is based on your years of experience. So expecting that from the person you're training up, from the people you're training up, is unfair because they haven't had your breadth of experience. So approach that cultivation process with a level of patience and a level of understanding, and be willing to share your power on a gradual process. And the more a person grows as a person, as an individual, then you know that you can actually increase the power that you give to that individual until they're able to take on more responsibilities and free you up to do other things with your time. Okay, so as a great leader, it's important that you share your power, because when you do that, you help to cultivate growth in your constituents. So these are my thoughts for you today. Please feel free to share this video with whoever you think needs to hear it. Until next time, from my heart to yours, do take it easy, and please don't forget to subscribe. Take care. Bye.